People are a little bit lost right now. Most people are really shell-shocked. I mean, you can see it in their face. It's different from what we've been exposed to, at least from what I've been exposed to.
Early Thursday morning, we started getting reports about some pretty high water levels in the Canmore area. We were getting reports of banks being eroded and many houses being potentially threatened.
I got a call from one of my neighbors, and she said the bridge is overrun just about, and the water's worse than 2005.
It built through the day, and we were getting more and more reports. And then, obviously, evacuations orders started to come into play, and water levels both on the elbow and on the bow were starting to rise as well.
It happened probably within about 15 minutes to a half an hour. That's how fast it was. It was this far from the bank. The neighbor's yard was overflowing, his was overflowing, and by the time I got to the shed and back down into the basement, it was up to my knees.
They gave an alert, said that Bragg Creek has an emergency alert, and people are told to evacuate.
I just had time to unplug everything, throw everything up, and the firefighters were back and said, we need to get out right now.
Our customers were having a number of issues with significant water damages and in some cases property losses as well.
The other thing that's a little bit different is the fact that our own offices downtown Calgary were shut down in the first few days of the crisis. And so we had to manage our contingency planning process at the same time.
We were really concerned that we were going to lose our building. And if the building went down, where were not only our adjusters, but even our underwriters and anybody else being able to go to help everybody out?
We invoked automatically our catastrophe response plan. By that stage, close to 100,000 Calgarians had been evacuated out of their homes. We have a temporary centre called Greenview, which is basically there on standby to respond to a hail event in Calgary. So we automatically moved our entire command centre to Greenview, where we have the full connectivity and technology back into the intact world.
Very quickly they were able to get Greenview set up with a lot of laptops and a lot of places for people to go that was safe and dry, and continue to help working our insureds.
As a firm, there's a sense of urgency in everything we do, and when disaster strikes, especially on many fronts like that, people got organized very quickly. Others have newspaper ads, but we had boots on the ground.
We, throughout the weekend, had anywhere from 30 to 50 people working out of that Greenview Centre. We really had no impact from a service delivery standpoint.
There's been lots of different departments pulling together at Intact, and obviously Intact is an insurance company, and we need to be up and running and ready to go. The
very first thing to do, which is make that first phone call, and we'll take over from there and we'll guide them through the entire claims process. We are available 24/7, 365 days of the year. We'll start to set up field adjusters, so ultimately we want people to go and visit houses. We're able to do that really within the first 12, 24 hours after they first talk to us.
My role here with the catastrophe is to make myself available to get out to these properties as quickly as possible, speak to the insureds, and to let them know the next steps in the process.
Karina came and, we walked around and looked at stuff, and she gave me some helpful advice about some of the things I hadn't really noticed. She's going to have a company come and check everything out and tell us what we need to replace and what we don't.
Within 48 hours, they're going to have somebody come in and they're going to totally sanitize and clean the basement and get the rest of the water out. And they plan on having us back in the house like ASAP.
The fact that we had a CAT team also means that we're better organized quickly. The scale really played in our favor here. Not a surprise, I mean, it's our strategy. But the fact that we have a lot of adjusters on the ground, we've got supply chain management experts, not just here in the West, but in the rest of the country chipping in. We have suppliers coming from different parts of the country as well to help. So I think that the organization really has its act together, if I can use that expression, in terms of making things happen quickly with the full power of the organization.
Our promise is you're back, and everybody is going above and beyond because they really want to get everybody back to where they were.
This is the spirit of the organization in action.
I'm so happy to work with the caliber of people that I work with. This company, Intact, has absolutely stepped up to the plate.
People step up, people want to go beyond what's expected, people are ready to help, and it's really great to see. It's been great to see that in the city in itself. You have masses of volunteers walking around and asking if they can provide help, and it's been really impressive. I want to thank the employees, obviously, who have done a fantastic job.
It really is that human touch. It really is what we're about, which is connecting with people, starting that long journey that many of them will have to get their lives back to normal.
I think that, our core belief as a firm is that insurance is not about things, it's about people. Given it's our philosophy, we're not rushing to figure out what needs to be rebuilt. I think we're first trying to understand who we're dealing with, the state of mind they're in, and answering their basic questions, trying to put ourselves in their shoes. It's tough to do because, we didn't go through what they've gone through, but I think, people are doing their utmost to put themselves in those victims' shoes. And that's a core part of our philosophy. It's a core part of our values, actually. It's nice to see it in action, firsthand, in the most extreme of cases.